I got into graffiti around, I'd say 10 or 11 years old. It was just like something that was always around me. I wanted to imitate my brother, I guess, you know. I would use like shoe polish. We would bust open a bunch of ink pens and make our own like marker with like a chalkboard eraser, whatever, you know, whatever bottle you could use. Like I started doing graffiti just like tagging in alleyways and like kind of fucking up my own neighborhood. I grew to realize that that's probably what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't shit where you sleep. So the way that I pick spots, it's usually on my like commute. I try to like pick a new spot to be like, it's an original spot. We call it a virgin spot. It's like a new experience when you go to paint something different. You got to figure out how to climb on this or figure out how to get in there or in this lot or, you know, it's like the process that I think that I'm drawn to. I guess my style is like, I try to make it legible. Some styles I have are very like clean cut and like, you know, clean lines, and then some styles are chopped up and a little bit more wild. But I think I need to do better with myself at like getting out of the comfort zone and like sketching more. A lot of the time I'm more or less just focused on numbers than like progression with the style. I've been arrested 3 or 4 times, maybe more. Some of the cases I've caught are just like simple, like it's a slap on the wrist. It depends on what the situation is. Like if you're hitting a rooftop and like no big deal, but if you hit something that's like a higher priority to the taxpayers or however the judge decides to see it, you know. Sometimes I've been arrested and it's, you get a court date, show up, do a little community service, that's it. And then I've been arrested and held in jail for a little bit. It's just like a vicious cycle of like, it's never enough. It really is never enough. Like the things that you would think, like being locked up, some dude's like, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, you don't make money from this shit? I'm like, no. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's like, everybody here is like fighting something that's like lucrative and you're just doing this shit because like, you're like still a kid or like, what's the deal? And I'm like, I guess, like, I can't explain it, like. Instagram and social media and these platforms and apps make kids think that graffiti is safe, and it's not. And I'll be the first to tell you that, like, people lose their life over this, you know? Like, even climbing on a rooftop, people fall through on a shitty roof or an abandoned building or something like that. You know, shit happens, and like, it's a fun thing, you know? But like, when you have to deal with legal repercussions and like seeing your friends hurt or shit like that, like, I guess that's cynical to say, but like, I think there's also a positive side to that, because like, there's people that I've met from across the world, showed up at my doorstep, never met them before, opened my door to them, because like, it's that connection. Like, I know that these are good people.
Okay, how'd you meet Virgil?
I hit dude's train and he hit me back and was like, that's dope. Like, I defaced his shit with the Museum of Contemporary Art, which at the time, I didn't know it was him, right? I didn't know it was him at all. At the time, I hit the train because it had like some text on it. And I was like, man, what is this whack ass fucking wannabe graffiti shit? You know what I'm saying? Because my mind wasn't like fully like, yo, there's art out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really like some people that are just like in this mindset where it's like, fuck everything but graffiti. Any mural could get dissed with a fucking giant dick on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are people out there that are like that. But at the time I was like that. I defaced this shit. Dudes gets footage of this shit and he's like, yo, you did this. And I was like, no, that shit ain't me. He's like, no, like, I think this shit's dope. I'm like, what, dude? Are you fucking whacked out in the head, dude? I just took your shit out of commission because they don't run. You know, once you hit it, that's it. Like, they go to wash it. One thing leads to another. Like, we're just bullshitting about just everyday life shit. You know, we're talking about jazz records. You know, he would dig for records at a spot that me and my grandpa would go to when I was a kid, and I thought that was like super dope. How it was like a connection from home and shit like that. And this dude's like some huge, you know, star, I guess you would say, you know, like a influential god of some sort, you know what I'm saying? I had no idea who this dude was, but at first I was like I was being jaded, like, yo, what's this dude want? He trying to come up on me? Is he trying to steal my color schemes? What's the deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, I was like, yo, what's this dude want from me? And he's just literally trying to like bless me with like an opportunity to like put shit on clothes. And at the time I was just like, I don't know, you know, my boys are telling me that are into fashion, like, dude, if you don't do this, you're gonna regret this the rest of your life, you know? But it took a while for me to open up to him to realize what kind of person he was, you know? He taught me a lot about myself, you know, with believing in myself and shit, because at the time I didn't really have much like belief. I was just like, I just do graffiti. I'm gonna have a show in Chicago, just a celebration of his life. And this will be like the end of the capsule, because this was for spring, summer of 2022, and now we're going into fall, winter. But I'm having a show to celebrate the release of the clothes that I made. There was like multiple designs that we made. I'm gonna put up some canvases of some enlarged prints of pieces that I did for him after he passed away. I never thought of no shit like that. Like I was just like, it's graffiti, fuck the world, you know what I mean? And like, he was literally like a mentor in some sense, you know? Like to be like, dude, put me out in the world. He put me across the world. He put me on off-white clothing, and it's like, I never imagined none of that shit, ever. Like, putting anything on clothes. At one point, I made throwies on a t-shirt, little simple black and white silk screen. I made 10 shirts, gave it to my homies. That was it. There was no like, all right, I'm gonna make money from shirts or anything like that. And like, this dude put a different spark or a different angle for me to look at it. So yeah, I'm super appreciative for the opportunity that he gave me. What kept me into graffiti is, I really can't explain it. When I think about everything, there's definitely paranoia. The risk versus reward, there really isn't any reward in it. Graffiti doesn't pay off. Like you don't get paid for it. Maybe you get some jobs here and there. People pay you to put your work up, or you shift that and you take your artistic ability and bring it into like painting movie sets or something like that. There's things that graffiti artists take their craft and they do that with, and I haven't really found my approach to do that yet, but I think it's just like a constant evolution that like, hopefully I do less graffiti and I focus more of my time being consumed to productive that's getting me paid, or something that helps me grow as an artist, rather than, you know, graffiti is egotistical. And a lot of graffiti artists, I feel like, don't understand that. They're just balls to the wall. Like, they don't give a fuck about nothing. Like, they end up in jail all the time. And like, I'm really not trying to end up in jail. I would really like to graduate out of it and spend less time, but still, there will always be a connection, and I'll always be back at a yard painting a train, because that's like the true essence of it. Like, no matter how big you get as an artist, that's my roots. Why wouldn't I go back to my roots to like have a good time and enjoy myself, you know? It's almost like a therapy, I guess. It's not always like adrenaline packed and like running from the cops and shit like that, you know? A lot of the times it's like very peaceful.
What's like the overall message that you want people to get from your work?
Don't waste your time. Nothing is out of reach, you know? And I want people to see like, this is freedom at its finest, to say like, I was here.